Thanks for watching the video. This is Pascal for EMP Reviews. This is a review of Black Adam, a movie that Dwayne Johnson describes to be a 6-year-long endeavor. The review by Carl Wilson and I will start at the time posted here after an account of the events in the film. The beginning of the movie starts in the fictional nation of Kahndaq in the year 2600 before the Common Era. After centuries of thriving, the country is overtaken by King Kahndaq and his tyrannical forces. His ultimate goal was to construct the crown of Sabbac, which would make him invincible if bonded with the 6 demons of the ancient world. Only found in Kahndaq, the magical substance Eternium was needed to form the crown. Kahndaq forced his people to dig for this element. In this scene, an older slave finds a piece of Eternium and is executed when asking for a promised reward. Before his death, a young Hurut saves him from other digging slaves and escorted him to what he mistakenly thought was that compensation. Hurut is himself saved by Teth Adam, not clearly seen in this first act of the film, who tries to convince his son not to be a hero, as too many such individuals have already died. Undeterred, Hurut grabs the Eternium, fights off a few guards, addresses his people with the stone, but is ultimately captured and sentenced to death, as his defiance concerned King Kahndaq as the beginnings of a resistance. At the moment before death, Hurut is magically rescued by the Council of Wizards, the magical guardians of the earth, who give him the gifts of the ancient gods. Meanwhile, a slave delivers the already completed crown to the king. But at the moment Kahndaq called upon its powers, Black Adam enters the palace. The very next scene shows the location exploding as a result of the battle, with the narrator explaining that the champion Black Adam was victorious. Afterwards, the wizards hid the crown of Sabbac away from man and the champion disappeared. The story continues in present-day Kahndaq, now occupied by mercenaries. Referred to as the Intergang, they are the latest in a slew of historical invaders. At a checkpoint, Karim, Ishmael, and Samir sneak Adriana, Karim's sister, past the barrier as she is sought by the Intergang. A few moments past the area, she comes out of her secret compartment. Her son Amon wants to join them but is refused, advised to attend to his schoolwork from home. Adriana is in possession of a family heirloom piece of Eternium, which describes the location of the crown of Sabbac. With the help of the men, she plans on finding the treasure and then hiding it, as if it fell into the wrong hands, its immense power would result in dire consequences. The next day, they find the mountain listed as the location of the crown, and she translates markings transcribed on the walls. They describes men's abuse of the gift of magic and how an ultimate power was expelled from Earth and hidden here. Ishmael is somehow separated from Adriana and Samir, who leaves her to find him only to be thrown out of the mountain and to land in front of Karim, barely surviving. He is shot to death by Intergang troops. Fully aware of Samir's fate, Ishmael rejoins Adriana. She reads more scriptures, these advising any reader not to disturb Teth Adam, the slave turned champion and defeater of the king, who's now in an eternal dreamless sleep, an apparent well-deserved sentence. Ishmael disagrees with Adriana's belief that this individual is a hero, and they both eventually find the crown. With some maneuvering, Adriana gets the crown but is interrupted by the gang, who threatens the lives of her brother and Ishmael unless she relinquishes the treasure. She obliges, but invokes the word Shazam when asked for any last word before execution, having read more scriptures visible on the ground before her. Black Adam, now released because of Adriana's words, appears in a blast of energy. With his seemingly infinite powers, he ravages almost all of the troops. Due to the amount of damage caused by the battle, Ishmael appears to be buried alive while other boulders are destroyed by Adam right before they reach Adriana. She and Karim leave with the crown while Adam destroys more intergangsters now that he flew outside of the mountain. One actually manages to incapacitate him, having used an Eternium-filled projectile, apparently his Achilles heel. That is, however, after Adam obliterates him first. An alive and well Ishmael communicates with aerial intergang troops, declaring his knowledge of who has the crown they also desire. Carter Hall, who is also Hawkman, monitors their intergang's reports on the incident and agrees with Amanda Waller that this awakened Black Adam needs to be contained. Led by Hawkman, the team the Justice Society leaves for Kahndaq. Carter Hall is joined by Cyclone, Atom Smasher, and Dr. Fate, who experiences destructive and explosive visions of their future in the mission on his way to meet the group. Black Adam has a dream of Hurut ripped away from his mother to be executed and blasts one of Ammon's bedroom's walls when suddenly waking up from the nightmare. He heals his Eternium injury and is surprised by a mirror, his appearance in it, and the unfamiliar landscape. Adriana deciphers markings on the crown, while Ammon reads the account of Teth Adam's defeat of King Acton from his textbook. The statue in this text is a photo of the same monument in the middle of the landscape, the same dedication to Black Adam, the hero Ammon declares is needed by his people. A sentiment not shared by Adam, who then has an initial conversation with Karim and Adriana, who he recognizes as the one who woke him. He also refuses her request for help, declines additional appeals from Ammon, and then leaves. Dr. Fate questions the outright view of Black Adam as someone completely judged as a villain, while Cyclone educates Atom Smasher on the origins of Fate's extraterrestrial magical helmet. The whole team then meets, discussing the negotiating possibilities with Teth Adam, if any. Adam flies and hovers in front of the aged remains of the statue and again experiences the earlier dream, uttering an appeal for forgiveness. Ammon steals an intergang radio and declares the arrival of Kahndaq's hero. Right before being caught, he signals and calls to Teth Adam, but instead is temporarily rescued by his mother right after she's recognized as someone wanted by the gang. Teth finally appears and eviscerates the gang, with some tutoring by Ammon on the use of one-liners and their appropriate timing. The Justice Society makes its first contact with Adam, with Hawkman saving two potential victims of his. The local citizens are not happy with the saving of the men, but cheer when Adam fries them. Dr. Fate offers Adam the two options of surrendering or death provided by the Justice Society, and he responds by attacking him and Hawkman. Fate creates an illusion of the neighborhood as it appeared at a time Adam is familiar with, as a tool to confuse him for a blind strike by Hawkman. After Adam recovers, Hawkman advises him to utter the magical word Shazam to extinguish his powers, to put an end to this conflict, but then attacks when the request is refused. Cyclone and Smasher enter the melee. After saving Ammon from flying debris, Fate makes contact with the crown of Sabbac through his backpack, initiating a demonic vision. The fight is temporarily halted by a fist belonging to Atom Smasher, who moments later ends up incapacitated by Black Adam. The champion is cheered on by witnesses, but after a few moments of not sharing their joy, he decides to fly away, disappointing the onlookers. Dr. Fate realizes that the Justice Society is no match for Teth Adam and then the team gets a lecture by Adriana when asking her for the crown, which she doesn't have. She describes that the so-called villain they're pursuing is a hell of a lot more helpful to Kahndaq than their team is against its oppressors. The point is inconveniently evidenced by a mishap by Adam Smasher. Amon is actually carrying the crown back home, while Hawkman informs Adriana that Adam is not the historical hero she believes him to be. She takes them to the palace, where Cyclone spotted him earlier, to try to negotiate a surrender. She initially speaks to Teth alone, recounting the true tale of the champion based on the scripture evidence the Justice Society has access to, not what has been believed for thousands of years. At the onset of Black Adam's creation, he actually came to Akton's palace for revenge and not justice for Kahndaq, effectively killing a man who was begging for his life. Thus, the Council of Wizards punished him for his sins. Adriana now realizes that she released the prisoner, not the champion, with a falsified statue built in his honor. Amon gets home to Karim and also Ishmael, who eventually demands the crown. Karim provides an opportunity for Amon to run with the treasure, and Ishmael calls his troops to find him after delivering a punishment. Amon informs his mother of these events, who then begs Adam for help, citing his earlier saving of her life as evidence that he is not the monster the Justice Society believes. Despite Teth Adam's interference, Ishmael still captures Amon, who did not have the crown, as he hid it before rushing out of his home. Adam fruitlessly searches most of the Intergang flying units for him, killing some of their pilots. Adam Smasher and Hawkman's efforts and arguing do not help. Cyclone saves Karim, and meanwhile, after a brief lesson in the virtue of sarcasm from Dr. Fate, Adam forces one of the pilots brought in by Hawkman to disclose the location where Ishmael took Amon, the Intergang mines in the Al-Hadidiyah Mountains. Another fruitless bout between Adam and Hawkman accidentally reveals that Amon hid the crown in his room before escaping Ishmael. During an analysis conducted by Cyclone inside Hawkman's aircraft, Adriana deciphers the markings written inside: "Life is the only path to death." Adriana demands all of the super beings work together and only agrees with the destruction of the crown after her son is safe. On the way to the mountains, Dr. Fate contemplates his earlier vision of a team member's death, and Hawkman formulates a plan of attack against Ishmael, only to be foiled by Black Adam's immediate actions. He is stopped by an Eternium shield encasing Ishmael, Amon, and some troops. Against the Justice League's wishes, Black Adam allows Adriana to give the crown to Ishmael, who discloses that he is the last descendant of King Akton and plans on becoming the new king of Kahndaq. He also describes that the wizards stole and hid the crown, mocks Teth's tears when his son Hurut died, and utters a variation on Adriana's translation as "death is the only path to life," before firing his weapon at Amon and simultaneously disabling the shield. Adam stops the bullet while Ishmael crowns himself. The Justice Society shields Cyclone, Amon, and Adriana from Black Adam's explosion, the same form of energy that destroyed Akton's palace thousands of years ago. Amon is not dead, but incapacitated, prompting a guilty-ridden Teth Adam to return to the palace. Adam finds a crisp Ishmael sporting a blistering crown of Sabbac. Hawkman meets Adam to revisit the option of surrender, who discloses then that Hurut was his son that he failed to protect, and that it was he that the wizards chose as champion. After many victories achieved by this hero, the king had his parents attacked, killing his mother and gravely injuring his father Teth. Hurut, the original wielder of the wizard's gifts, transferred his power to save his father and was immediately killed afterwards, prompting Teth Adam to kill Acton. After this revelation, he surrenders his power, uttering the word Shazam. While Amon regains consciousness, Adam is taken to the Task Force X Black Site location and put in suspended animation and gagged. Ishmael's remains rise in temperature while Dr. Fate's visions become more severe, predicting Hawkman's death, a prophecy Carter Hall takes very lightly. Adriana realizes that Ishmael's realignment of the words of the Crown's scriptures was intentional and that he planned on Adam killing him. As a result, he is revived in the Rock of Finality, where the 6 demons of the ancient world are now making him their champion in order to create hell on earth. The converse of the magical word of Shazam is Sabbac, also the name of Black Adam's adversary. Sabbac easily damages Hawkman's aircraft, almost killing its crew, and has no difficulty battling the team once they try to keep him from the throne at the palace. Dr. Fate stops the team from entering the location in an effort to prevent Hawkman's death. He combats Sabbac, knowing that this means the end of his life instead, and during the aimless fight, he contacts Teth and remotely opens his bindings. He describes that despite not being chosen by the wizards, his son and Fate selected him instead, and that the Justice Society was wrong in their initial judgment. Fate is killed and the Society failed to prevent Sabbac's seat at the throne, prompting the legions of hell to surface. Teth has a reunion with his family after his escape, but his son claims that his life is not meant to end at this moment, and eventually advising him to reignite his powers. Amon motivates his people to act against Sabbac's forces, while the demon destroys the champion statue after torturing Hawkman. Black Adam appears, clad with a variation of his apparel, stopping the falling statue, saving Amon once again. Kahndaq's champions battle and Dr. Fate's vision momentarily seems to come to life as Hawkman is stabbed by Sabbac when engaging the demon. This is an effective illusion created by Carter Hall using Dr. Fate's magical helmet, enabling a fatal final blow by Black Adam, also causing the evaporation of the troops from Hell. Hall and Adam credit the success of the battle to Dr. Fate's sacrifice before his helmet fades away. The Justice Society leaves in the midst of cheers for Kahndaq's champion, who destroys the throne after apparently finding it improper. He prefers to be known as a protector than a hero. A post-credit scene shows Amanda Waller communicating with Teth, who orders him to remain inside Kahndaq. After he orders her to produce someone strong enough to enforce this order, Superman enters the scene and wants to talk. Okay, so well, the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and ask you is, did you like the movie? It's split as far as I can see, as far as the reviews on it.
Yes.
It's like split, man. And I like it a lot. The comedy kills me. But what was your general feeling on it?
I would say, really not knowing anything about Black Adam, truthfully, I'm more of a Marvel kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
I had low expectations, which is perfect. I like kind of going to movies like this. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it would have been a great popcorn movie at the movie theater. I think it was perfectly set up for that.
Yeah.
Like the way they kind of had it, the action and stuff. It is suited for a movie theater. I think, I don't know, it was fine, but it wasn't like nothing we've never seen before. However, I kind of prefer the darker tone in contrast to the Marvel stuff. So I wish they would go further down that path, So I think it was definitely entertaining. Wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but wasn't the worst.
Wasn't worse either.
Yeah.
As far as I definitely liked it a lot. One of my criticism is they like the problem with taking an evil character, because like you saw the The Return of Black Adam, the cartoon,
the animated, yes.
Yeah, and I just watched that for this video, and he is an outright villain there.
That was great. Yeah,
he's out to kill somebody.
Right.
So kill a child at the beginning. Of
right.
It. Yeah. So now the problem when you take a really evil character like that, and I'll look into some comic books too, but I'm sure he's evil in at least the traditional comic books. It's like when you're trying to take a guy like that and try to make him good, then what you end up with this movie, it's like they dance around the fact that he's evil. He does kill a few guys, and then this Hawkman who goes to hell to try to save some of the guys that he's trying to kill, and then when there's a scene where he fries two people, and all the villagers from Kahndaq are cheering for him. I like the movie, but there's a few things in there that are a missed opportunity. Definitely, Okay, so let's see.
Definitely Dr. Fate is my favorite.
Well, there you go. Perfect. Let's start off with that complete waste, man.
You say it was a waste?
Waste of them killing him.
Well, yes. Okay, but
they have their own Doctor Strange there.
Right.
They completely wasted,
Yeah.
And it was not necessary. It seems like there are times when I see something like that happens, and we'll discuss this later on, but I don't know if you ever played The Last of Us games. Okay.
Nope.
So in the second one, they killed off a very prominent character from the first game.
Right.
And considering what led up to him being killed, you could tell that the author allowed all kinds of plot holes just so he can get this guy killed.
Yeah.
And I see some of that here, because the Dr. Fate did not have to die here.
He didn't have to die here. You know what? But I feel like, you got so many characters in a movie, you need, all those different types of character tropes. So in this case, you have the sacrificial lamb, whatever, and I think having an actor, Pierce Brosnan, is perfect, because we all know him, and from GoldenEye, whatever.
He's a beloved actor.
He's a beloved actor. We know he's going to come and be, save the day, and he's old and gray. So oh man, he's going to lead us down the path, of success. But in this movie, okay, well, what's going to happen here? So we kind of see it coming, a mile away anyway. I see him, okay, well, he's going to die. He's like, he just kind of figures it's going to happen. But yes, in terms of overall, Dr. Fate. He doesn't waste of a character, unless is this one of those guys who kind of changes people over every couple of years, like all the other DC characters. Dr. Fate, they have different people playing this character, Dr. Fate. I have no idea about.
That's probably something I should have done, is look up the comic book origins of Dr. Fate. But yeah, I'm not very familiar with him. I'm just familiar with Pierce Brosnan.
Right. But you know what? This real this happening. It always happens in movies. I remember this movie. You remember the movie came out in the 90s? It was an airplane hijack movie with Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but
and Kurt Russell, and it was the same thing. Steven Seagal, he dies in the first 5 minutes of the movie. It's kind of different, but it's okay, you think he's gonna be the one who saves the day.
Kind of a shocker.
But it's okay, no, actually Kurt Russell's gonna save the day. And it's okay, that kind of a thing. But it's different.
It was heroic on some degrees on how Fate died, but it was unnecessary. The only thing that was kind of cool was that when you see Hawkman getting killed, in his vision, you saw him getting killed.
Right.
But then you get to see that it was an illusion.
Yep.
That Carter Hall, which is Hawkman.
I like Hawkman.
Yeah, when he used his helmet. And I read so much on the comic book origins of Black Adam.
Yeah.
And it was weird, because I believe, I'll check on this, but I believe Adam Smasher was teamed up with Black Adam.
Okay.
So there was one difference there.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of impressed, I guess the word is.
Yeah.
Considering how they took the original material and kind of switched it around a little bit,
Right.
Because in the comic books, Black Adam met Billy Batson, who becomes Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Through time travel, which was kind of cool,
Mm-hmm.
And so when Black Adam saw in that from the future, this kid becomes Captain Marvel, which is the continuation of the Shazam power. He was glad to see that in the future, his lineage his magical lineage continues.
Right? Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the comedy.
Comedy. Yeah.
So I think
play to the audience.
It seems like they have to. Okay. The guys that I follow on YouTube, Midnight's Edge, they just came across some results of some survey, like some entity did some research, and they discovered that at least Marvel and I think DC also, Warner Brothers Discovery, they're cleaning house over there. So they just got rid of like some major top tier executives, because those guys were just trying to do all kinds of. They wanted to get rid of Superman and Batman. They didn't want them on the screen anymore. Like Batman just got killed in Gotham Knights, the video game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, Will.
Yes.
I think he told me, we were just talking the other day, I think he gets revived. I'm not sure about all the machinations of that game, but somebody compiled all of the small videos, the small movies in the video game. And as soon as I saw Batman die, because he had a fight with a big villain, as soon as I saw him die, I just turned it off. I'm like, I don't want to see this garbage, But okay, so according to this research, they're saying that the ridiculous, because you loved She-Hulk, and I want to kill myself with
She-Hulk's my shit, man. That shit was that was beautiful.
I don't know, but
great TV show.
But between She-Hulk and what the showrunner has said about the trolls that she was trying to trigger with her material, and with Disney, Marvel, like the survey says, they're not going after the comic book fans, because they're doing some insane changes. They're not going after I guess older people.
No, they're going after the next generation. That's the way it goes. They're going after the next people who got the money. Yeah, people got the money, man.
But that's just it, though. Many people also say that many people that I'm talking about here don't have money. So they're saying that because they're saying it's 9% of their entire market with the material they're producing, and whether you're correct or not with the money situation, Wakanda Forever is not doing good.
It's like the top movie the last 4 weeks in a row, because
the box office market in general has been the lowest in decades.
Because people are streaming. Right, so people streaming. So, but for those who are going, it's still the top movie, so it's still getting most of the piece of that pie for people who are spending money.
What they're saying is it may be high rank wise,
yes,
but the movie is not doing as good as the first Black Panther at all.
No, because people was going to the movies back then, and now people are accustomed to. They rather not leave the house. Like most people, like my kids, they could care less about going to the movie theater, and I get it. So and like that just extends to the older generation who's used to the mobile device too. So I don't know. I feel like
they're saying that because the streaming services, as far as Disney Plus, for example, they just lost $1 billion.
They lost $1 billion.
Yes,
that's a drop in the bucket for them. They got $12 quadrillion.
Well, Amazon does, like. Disney doesn't.
I mean, just visually. I mean, yes, it was honestly like, and it was definitely too long of a movie. Like that whole third act, I was like, wait a minute, like it was needed, but I don't understand.
It was a bit long.
It was a bit long, man. And because he's gonna come back. He's not gonna just sit there and just be in the chamber and stuff. But it was, it was entertaining. Yes, you're not gonna get too deep into it, but like you said, there was some parts that could have been like
cut out of there,
handled better, like in the comedy stuff, like they were fighting in the room with the old stuff.
The sarcasm thing was good, and then they took it too long.
Yeah, it took it too long. Yeah.
So, but anyway, okay. So, Cyclone, I thought was useless.
Cyclone. Yeah, she didn't add too much to the. None of those other guys, honestly, they just seem like
Adam Smasher.
Extra people.
The only reason I liked Adam Smasher is I like giant characters. Like in my stories, whenever I do comics, whatever.
Yeah.
I try to put a giant person in there because I like big characters. And the scene in Civil War with Ant-Man was fantastic.
That was pretty cool, man. Yeah, for sure.
And it's like Ultraman, basically.
Yeah, the color scheme and the way they move. Yeah, it looks. Yeah, you're right, like Ultraman. Those. Yeah.
Another waste is Eternium.
What the hell is that? Eternium. Oh, I hate those.
It's the substance. Well, first of all, is the substance the crown was made out of.
Yeah.
And it's Eternium. The substance that incapacitated Black Adam. Remember when he got shot with a
Right.
missile?
Yeah, his kryptonite.
Exactly.
Right.
So the only other time that they used it was to make a shield that prevented him from getting to Ammon and Ishmael when Ishmael had him, like he kidnapped him with the gun and everything at the intergang's mine at the, not the final act. The final act is him fighting Sabbac.
Right.
But before then, when they rescued Ammon, he tried to, because like Hawkman was devising a plan of attack.
Yeah.
And while he was discussing it, Black Adam went in and started killing everybody. You know?
Yeah.
So then he tried to get to Ammon to save Ammon, but the Ishmael put a Eternium shield around them. So that was throughout the entire movie.
Right.
That's the only time they used Eternium, and also clearly the Intergang had access to it because you found out that Black Adam was couldn't like that it was something damaging to him because he got shot with it at the beginning.
Yep.
So they should have used that more.
Yeah. That's kind of you're right. That's a whole they could have. Yeah.
Now, as much as I hate, I like you want to talk about comedy. Shazam, the movie was ridiculous, man. You know, I mean, it was just.
Was it good? Was it?
I don't like it.
You didn't like it? Okay, I thought that's supposed to be kind of funny, right? Cheeky or whatever.
It's CW superhero movie. I mean, it's
CW.
But in spite of that, I think it's another missed opportunity. They should have used Shazam. Maybe there should have been a sequel to Shazam. I don't know how well Shazam did. If it merits another sequel, I guess there would have been. Actually, they are working on it right now, and the only thing I've seen is because Shazam has a whole family of Shazam individuals.
I remember that TV show long time.
And their suits for the second movie looks fantastic.
Good, yeah.
I'll send you an image of that if I can remember. But so they're doing a sequel to it. Black Adam should have been part of that. Right?
Yeah.
Because we'll be here all night if I discuss the whole history of Captain America, Black Adam, and all that stuff, and then Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, the legal rights and all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
But
similar.
But there should have been a fight between Black Adam and Shazam. That would have. It was great in the cartoon.
Yeah, man. It's that's why I don't understand why they didn't do that. Like off the bat. I mean, but maybe that's the sequel. But there's no sequel, right? They're not doing a sequel
to Black Adam.
Right.
Failure.
Yeah.
At least they're saying $100 million.
I want to see a Lobo movie. That's what I'm waiting for. They come out with a Lobo movie. I'm all in. That'd be cool.
Right. I sent. Yeah, that's right. I sent you the video. Black Adam, which is much better than Wakanda Forever, if you ask me. It just lost $100 million, man. It took 6 years for Dwayne Johnson to get this going because the three guys that I mentioned just got fired, and I discussed this with Mario in the Man of Steel video. Mm-hmm. He wanted to have a Black Adam movie, and he wanted that to usher in Superman, and that regime wanted nothing to do with those guys, man.
Yeah.
So finally, good Lord, Warner Brothers went to AT&T, and then AT&T sold it to Discovery. I think that's what happened. And Discovery is David Zaslav is the top guy at Discovery, Warner Brothers. Yeah, he fired all those people, man, and stuff, because they wanted nothing to do. They wanted this Latino Batgirl, who is not Commissioner Gordon's daughter, and they wanted a Supergirl who's not. It's like Supergirl's a blonde-haired girl, right?
Yeah.
This other girl, short black hair. God knows where they came up with her, man. I don't know. Yeah,
trying something different, man. That's the age of doing different shit.
It was just woke stuff, actually. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with being a little woke sometimes.
But they're overdoing it.
Yes, you can't overdo it. That's the thing. You can't overdo it. That's all. When you overdo it, it's too much.
I'm not quite sure. I may cut this out, but I was kind of confused because, so I guess this is one of the reasons Black Adam did not jive with Captain Marvel. It's because, although Jimon Honsu is the actor that played
in every movie,
the wizard. Yeah, I know. Yeah. He's the one who played the wizard in Black Adam, and he's the one who played the wizard in Shazam. Mm-hmm. But in the animated film we saw, they went to the original white guy, of course, so they race swapped him with Jimon Honsu. Now see if you remember this. it was weird because in Shazam, if I'm correct, the seven they're like when the kid is taken to a cave where Shazam is like, I'm going to give you my powers because I'm dying. He's got the 7 deadly sins statues, the same ones in the animated show.
Okay.
It was ridiculous in the show because they actually have words for each one of the sins. It looked ridiculous, but anyway. In the Shazam movie, they tell Shazam the wizard, you won't be able to hold us forever, because you're getting old. He says they killed the other 6 wizards. In Black Adam, it was weird because I believe this is what I saw because the narrator never outright said it. But when Shazam, Black Adam, Teth Adam went out and killed Octon, the wizard was like, okay, you're evil. We're going to take out, we're going to punish you. So it's like kind of a faraway shot where Black Adam is killing all of them. And at the end of that fight is when he was imprisoned, and in Shazam, like in modern day, Jimon Hunsu's the wizard, but in Black Adam, it looked like he was able to imprison Teth Adam, but he also looked like he exploded because there was a bunch of energy. Okay. And he's got his mouth open because like he's about to explode. So there's a conflict of stories there.
Yeah.
Do you remember him? Because they did not specifically described what happened, but it looked like Black Adam killed almost all of them, basically.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I had no idea.
So you don't remember? Okay, no, it was kind of weird, but all right. In Shazam, the insignia, the big sign,
lightning bolt thing,
is just in your face.
Yeah,
and it looks like almost like a stoplight. Yeah. And I'm glad that in Black Adam, it's more of a kind of a lurking energy. It looks more, I guess, realistic. I thought that was kind of a cool design decision, because that's the problem with these movies. Like prime example, I think I'm the only person on the planet who enjoys the 2015 Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, yeah. Which one is that? The one with Silver Surfer?
No. That's the one after that.
Oh, the one with Michael B. Jordan is? Yeah. Okay, I never seen it.
Yeah, everybody on the planet hates it.
Yeah. Why do they hate it, you think? Like, what's
garbage. Okay. It's like the director, not only is the movie bad, like they had to do reshoots. So they brought back the woman, and she has this really obvious wig on, looks stupid. The story's bad. Yeah. They screwed up Dr. Doom beyond belief. Dr. Doom.
I don't know why it's so hard to get Dr. Doom right, man.
I don't know, man. And the thing with the guy who played Dr. Doom in the Tim Story movie that you're familiar with, the guy who plays him is kind of a joke, basically. The insidious nature of Dr. Doom, that the actor plays that in Nip Tuck, the show that he's from.
Yeah, I remember that dude. Yeah, with those skinny eyebrows. Yeah.
But we won't go into it. But, in 2015 Fantastic Four, they fucked up Dr. Doom, man. And my thing is, it's too dark for a Fantastic Four movie, Yeah. But I like that, And if I didn't know anything about Fantastic Four, I think I would have an even better time with it,
Yeah.
But the problem is they actually wanted to take out Dr. Doom as the name because it's too goofy. The word Shazam is goofy, and the insignia I think is goofy. And so when you bring that into a darker kind of movie and you see The Rock, Teth Adam, like his son, transfer the power to his father, and they both say Shazam, I'm like, okay, that looks goofy to me. Right. But it's just you're stuck with the old material because I if I'm correct, Shazam was the very first time a character was brought to the screen. The very first time was like, it wasn't a show from the 70s. Yeah. It was in the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this is a big problem. So Black Adam wakes up, no problem talking in modern day dialect.
Oh yeah.
He's not speaking because they're in the beginning of the movie. They're speaking in the Middle Eastern, because Kahndaq is a Middle Eastern fictional nation. But it's obviously Middle Eastern influenced. So he should be able to speak English like that. And he's picking up nuances and everything. And sarcasm and whatever. Like Amon was trying to teach him nuances, one-liners.
Right.
You know. So that was just crazy.
Tell him, I'm the man in black. All that crap.
And then that whole when they recreated the scene from the Cowboy movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you heard the cowboy music, and then Black Adam was looking at everybody as if he had a standoff, and it's like there's no danger here. You're gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, it's like cheat code movie.
Yeah. So I don't know if you picked up on this. Another problem I had, and this might be something I just missed, but let's see. Supposedly, Black Adam was released after 5,000 years, and then the narrator says the story. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I got it. That's what I just answered my own question.
Okay, that's easy.
I got mixed up with 2600 BC and 5,000 years ago. So
got it.
2600 plus.
Yes.
Yes. So that's just answered my own question there. Okay. Let me just cut that out.
Yeah, that's what the editing.
I'm tired of Amanda Waller, man. I don't know. I don't like her.
Who was Amanda Waller again?
Viola Davis. I don't like her, man. I didn't like her in.
Why don't you like her, man? I like her, man, because she I don't know what she is. That's why I like her. I can't tell what she represents. I like that you just can't tell like what she's doing.
Well, she is basically. Okay, who's the name of the actor? The poor guy just died. The guy who was the military guy from the Hulk movie with Ed Norton, and he's like the he was the main guy who was part of Civil War. He was like he was trying to had the document. But anyway, Amanda Waller is the equivalent of that.
Yeah.
She's just a conspiratorial government kind of person,
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad she got a butt kicked in The Suicide Squad. I don't know if you've seen the movie.
I've seen the first one. Is that the second one you're talking about?
Second one.
I have not seen the second one, but now I know that's what happened. So
because she's definitely involved. You would probably like it. There's a little bit too much comedy, of course, but it is dark.
It's a shark person.
What's his name? James Gunn.
James Gunn.
Okay, so anyway, I'm tired of her. But okay, this is
House of Dragon.
May not have to discuss this too long, but in one of the biggest complaints about Man of Steel was how Superman does not respond to the sheer destruction that he and Zod caused Metropolis.
Yeah.
And there was a bit of that here, man. Like, they're throwing people's cars at each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's like it's all quick.
And also, one of the, I don't know, like this makes Cyclone seem worthless to me. Like, she took a bunch of rods because there was scaffolding all over the place. So she threw a bunch of them at Black Adam and he surrounded him.
Yeah.
So he explodes and the rods were about to land on Amon, and Dr. Fate transported him somewhere safe.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. Like, if you're, these guys are not careful about the damage they're causing, you almost killed Amon.
Yeah.
So there, so that was kind of a problem. When Sabbac first came to power, he crashed the airplane. That thing just fell right into a neighborhood.
Right.
The reason I put up Rings of Power is the only scene.
Damage. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen not Rings of Power, House of the Dragon.
I've seen that.
Okay, so the only scene because it's a fantastic show. It's too slow at the beginning, I think, but it's a fantastic show, and of course we have a black guy now, which is
How you feel about that, man? You don't like the black people with dreadlocks?
It's political garbage. These stories are supposed to be fictional stories, essentially set centuries ago in the UK. There are no black people.
How do you know it's the UK though? Because it's been that way from the beginning.
It's monarchy, it's castles, it's
castles with black people in it. How do you feel about Idris Elba as Thor? And you hate that shit too?
I have no problem with that because it was before all of this bullshit started. It probably was done for that issue, for the same race swapping kind of thing.
I feel like that was the okay. Here's a nice way. Okay, this is a race swap thing that I'm curious about. What do you think about the Kingpin?
Did they make him black?
Michael Clark Duncan. Remember they made the Kingpin black.
From everything I heard about that movie, I stayed away.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's pretty crappy.
yeah, and there's a director's cut or whatever. I don't think that improves them. That's like the recut of Highlander 2. It's still garbage.
Yeah, Highlander. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's so far in the past, and it was before all of this woke stuff. So I guess it just doesn't matter much. And I love The Dark Tower with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Again, I'm the only person on earth who likes that
I never
movie.
seen that. I heard that was bad.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Every time I watch that movie, I gotta watch it again.
That's good.
I don't know, bad movie, but I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know, and Matthew McConaughey as a villain is fantastic.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, so
okay, it's back to the movie at hand.
so so the reason I brought House of the Dragon, the only problem with that entire show was when I think her name is Rhaenyra. I'm probably wrong with that, but the Black Lord's wife escapes with the dragon, and so she crashes through.
Yeah. I remember
and so she's supposed to be somebody you're cheering for. She kills dozens of people, you know.
Yeah.
And now the imbecile, one of the writers said that because the people, like, I've been following a lot of people on YouTube who love the show. And they said that because they said the only bad thing about the show was that scene, how she killed people and didn't care. The other part of the show that's bad is the behind the scenes footage. They have interviews with the directors and writers.
Yeah.
One of the writers said like people in the audience, like crowd people and people like that don't matter. It's okay if they get killed.
Yeah.
That's it's like what.
Yeah.
It's like okay, so the end of this point is, you know, we're not in the 80s or the 70s anymore. We have the ability as critics to apply modern day sensibilities to TV shows.
Yes.
So if the character that your plot is trying to make a hero, he better behave like one.
Right.
You
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know why Sabbac had to be computer generated.
That's that DC crap, man.
That's another reason why She-Hulk was ridiculous. Like
the TV show.
They even have a picture on the internet of the actress, and they found this beautiful 6'5" woman who's muscular.
Yeah.
And who's basically a taller version than her.
Yeah.
They should have just had her do that. Put green makeup on it. Like what is it? Vision is like, I don't know, 5 hours of makeup or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So they could have just put her in makeup. You know?
Yeah. I think Vision is a good example of how to kind of use both.
Sabbac should have just been, I mean,
Yeah.
like, what's his name? Dwayne Johnson, his ex-wife, and Henry Cavill are clearly buddies, and they work out like crazy. They could have found anybody of their buddies to go and play Sabbac, you know. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's like anytime like DC they start fighting with that, it just looks ridiculous when they have like the CGI looking big giant monster dude. It's like a video game.
Yeah, and then to go another thing again, to go back to Dr. Fate. So again, Cavill, Danny Garcia is the woman, is Black Adam's Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife, who's his agent and Henry Cavill's agent. So supposedly the three of them and David Zaslav, who owns Warner Brothers, they now want to relaunch the DC universe correctly. So that's why James Gunn was just appointed CEO of DC. So they're right now supposedly trying to make a universe just like the Marvel universe. And to be honest, this is, you know, Black Adam shows that they're not doing it correctly, because just like Eternals, they just threw at us a team of people, and granted they were able to make us care for Dr. Fate, you know, because nobody gives a damn about the Eternals, you know. Nobody, you know. The only reason I was sad that what's her name who died in there? The hot, I believe she's Latino.
Salma
Hayek. The only reason I'm sad that she died is because she's hot. You know?
Yeah.
You know, but other than that, you don't give a damn over those characters. You know,
she aged like fine wine.
Oh my God, man! I have. There's a movie where she's in an apartment killing people and whatever. It's the worst thing in the world, but she is so gorgeous, man. You know. But yeah, they gave you an entire team of people, and you can't do that without setting the foundation first. The reason why the first Avengers movie is phenomenal is because they made a Thor movie. They made
it built up
Captain
to
America. You know, they made you care for these people. And granted, you know, Iron Man, all that stuff. Granted, that was done. It was unprecedented. You know, it was done at a risk because Marvel was not doing that great. You know, so unfortunately, as much as I want to give Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. and all those guys credit, it kind of happened organically. You know, they didn't. Eventually, they started to plan it. Eventually, they're like, okay, let's take Thanos and all that stuff. You know, I don't know why Marvel is not setting the pace to lead into either Doctor Doom or Galactus. You know, they should be giving us.
They're doing Crane. That's the next one, Crane.
Yeah. Okay. So so another thing, how about this, man?
What?
Okay, so in Black Adam, the Return of Black Adam, when the Tiger showed up and he knew
the Tiger.
When he knew that guy would defeat him, and he said, I'm going to send you to space for twice as long as you were there before.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to go through that again. So he says Shazam, loses his powers, and then crumbles into pieces. So when Teth Adam said Shazam and gave up his powers, how come he didn't die? You know what I mean?
Plot holes,
but I guess they're just changing that for the movie.
Yeah, change for the
because
movie.
Because they needed him for the third act.
Right.
Okay.
So we both liked it. I think. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
You know,
I like it. I could watch that tonight. But every time I've rewatched it, I gotta skip the comedy crap, man. I can't deal with those two. Like Cyclone is not too bad, but Adam Smasher. I mean, like he has his own personal goodbye to Black Adam at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I never watched that. I saw that once. I was out of there. Man. That is so. It's like there is timing and well scripted comedy, and that's not in here, man.
Yeah.
Because they tried that with Shang-Chi. That's one of the reasons I don't like Shang-Chi. You know, and
I can't get into that either.
It's such a wasted opportunity because granted they try way too hard to cater to China, and anytime you do that on any kind of circumstance, not just with a movie, but anytime you try to pander to whoever, people smell that crap right away.
You can't pander. That's for certain. It's got to be authentic, and that's why, like to me, like Black Panther it was in my opinion.
The second one, Wakanda.
They both authentic, and even the second one, like even though yes, it wasn't good as the first one, but it was, in my opinion, it's the best they could do at that time. I mean, because if they recast that character, that's not the right time for it. You know.
I think it was fine. I think the family said, if I'm correct, I think the family said, go ahead and recast them. I don't care. I mean, I think they should
maybe at some point, you know.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's two choices. One, you recast them, and I believe me, nobody would have been like nobody of note would have cared if they recast Black Panther. You know that's if you're doing correctly, no problem.
If you're doing correctly, that's
the other option. I think myself is that at the very beginning of the movie, there's a funeral. Which is what they should have done.
Yeah, a funeral to acknowledge.
They should have done that with Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
With Princess Leia.
Acknowledge
what they did in Rise of Skywalker was so idiotic.
Man. The prince.
Oh my god.
Disney princess floating through this.
And they spliced it together with these ridiculous conversations. And
Frankenstein. That was crazy.
And then they had
talk about AI.
They de-aged them. They showed her training with young Luke, and it just looks so stupid.
They trying though, I guess. I don't know.
And then at the end of Wakanda Forever, the other woman becomes Black Panther, and she's a tiny little twig, and she's throwing people. I mean, it's like
right. And that's the part about them. Okay, well, yes, Tissa's sister, but she doesn't have any training on how to fight. I'm like, this dude done beat up M'Baku. I'm like, that's some hardcore fighting without the power. So you know. Okay, he knows how to handle himself, you know, and she just knows how to make hologram card, you know, like that's not what her forte is per se.
And what's the name of that new Iron Man? The Black Iron.
Ironheart.
Yeah, that looks ridiculous, man.
I'm not too familiar with her backstory or where she started from, or like I don't know, but it didn't seem like I don't know. Like,
it's not authentic in there, you know. So, but.
I don't know.
All right, so the last point I have anyway is, oh jeez,
what?
The ability for the citizens of Kahndaq to fight off the demons from hell, it was just, I mean, it's like,
oh right,
it was so stupid.
oh yeah, they was fighting them.
Not only did the effort of Amon to rise up his people, like the guy was not screaming. He was just, he put his hand up and just told people to fight. They're like, okay, yeah, let's go. And then they like when Adriana was swinging a bat or whatever she had to fight.
Yeah, she was saying like, stay behind me or whatever.
It looked like you know some people like who don't know how to swing a bat.
Right. Yeah, that was like, you're not going.
It's like, you know, and they weren't scary at all. The demons from Constantine were scarier than that.
Right.
So, but anyway.
Army of Darkness demon.
So I have plenty of material. If there's anything that you could think of about the movie you want to praise or criticize,
let's see. Well, I will say, you know, kudos to The Rock for, you know, making this movie. I do like
his efforts. You
know, I like that he tried his own movie. I like, in my opinion, this was kind of like an apology. First part of the movie reminded me like apology movie to like the Scorpion King, because he knows how much that sucked, and like the CGI sucks. He's like, hey, here's some better CGI with me in it, in this Middle Eastern kind of setting, you know. So it kind of felt a little bit like that, which is kind of cool. But it was pretty good. It was entertaining. I agree with you a lot of parts about, you know, the plot holes and stuff, and some wasted characters and whatnot. But it was cool, man. Like, the whole thing with Superman, whatever, man.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this with Man of Steel. A rating from 8 to 10. What do you give it?
I would give it a 6.
6, yeah. I'd love to give it a higher grade, but I'm gonna stick with 7.
Yeah,
I got it. I can't 8 for effort, but 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Cool, right there, the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Thanks for watching the video, and I think my next video will be Will. I gave him a copy of Battle of the Super Sons. That is, yeah, I'll tell you that after we're done recording. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you at the next video, hopefully.
Peace out.